So I think we'll have an exciting session. So we can start officially. I think it's just 11:30 now. And again, a very warm welcome to all the attendees. So this is Ranjan, co-founder of Learnyst. And I have also with me Deepak Garg, who is the founder of EduTap. We have been associated with EduTap for quite a long time. It's been a pleasure working with them, their entire team. So very warm welcome, Deepak. Thanks for taking out your time. And I know you have a busy schedule, but yeah, thanks again for joining in. And I'm sure this session will be very interactive, very informative for all the audience out there. And just to give you a brief intro about Deepak, so he has founded EduTap, which is into civil service and civil service coaching, I would say. And based out of Chandigarh, it's a lovely place, their office, and the place is very lovely there. So they have been very successful in this segment. Consistently over the years, they have grown significantly on Learnyst. And it's been pleasure watching them grow. And I had requested Deepak to just share their knowledge with us all so that it can benefit a wider audience. They have a huge fan following, guys. I mean, if you have not seen EduTap, just hit out edutap.in and you will find their website and YouTube channel. They have more than 300K subscribers on YouTube. They're doing tremendously well. And one of the masterpieces of EduTap I always like is, of course, the content is awesome. Apart from that, the way they engage with the students, the way they communicate with the students, the entire process is very streamlined, which is very much required for any educator who is planning to go online. I think this is the need of the hour, and EduTap has cracked it really, really well. So I don't think there would be any other better person than Deepak to share with us his knowledge on content marketing, especially for how to acquire students. So we'll be talking more about that. Deepak, with that brief intro, I'll leave it to you. So I would like to just introduce yourself to the audience, and then we'll start with the Q&A.
Yeah. Hi, Ranjan, and hi, everyone. So my name is Deepak Garg, as Ranjan told you. So I'm the co-founder of EduTap Learning Solutions, which we started back in 2016. So we have been with Learnyst from the first day. So it's more than 7 years that we are with Learnyst, and it's been a very productive association, very fruitful association. And see, if I tell you a brief about myself, so I am a mechanical engineer, as I can guess most of you would be. So I graduated in 2010. Then I worked in the corporate world for just a small stint of around 15 months. I was, very keen towards cracking the civil services exam. I quit my job, and then I came back to Chandigarh and started preparing for civil services. Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. I'm not able to make out till date. I gave 6 years to UPSC and other civil services exams. Reached till the interview stage multiple times. Gave a lot of other government examinations, but again, could not crack. Right. So after 6 years and 6 years old mechanical engineering degree and no skill set, I jumped into the education sphere that, okay, this is the only skill set that now I have. So let's make the best use of it. I started teaching in a local brick and mortar model, and I taught there for a couple of years. And then I had an idea that, okay, let's start something online, because in a offline setup, I was under the impression that it is not much scalable and you cannot reach the nook and corners of the country. So why not try something online, and why not try a segment? That was the regulatory body segment consisting of RBI grade B exams, NABARD grade exams, SEBI grade exams that very few people were catering to at that particular point of time. So I saw an opportunity. Yeah. I discussed with my partner, who is Enrich Garg. He's a stellar co-founder along with me. So we took a risk. Chalo karte hain. Then we started, and with the grace of God and with the all the blessings of students, we were able to deliver good quality lectures. We were able to generate handsome revenue. Until date, we are bootstrapped and a highly profitable organization. And this particular session on content marketing is extremely, extremely important for all the people who are in the edtech space, because you must have heard that content is king. But what I say is, content is not just the king, it is the king maker. Someone who content is something that will decide who will get to be the king in the particular market. So with that, I thank you, Ranjan, for inviting me in this particular webinar, and I hope I am able to add value to the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepak. Pleasure is all ours. Thank you very much. So yeah, I mean, again, guys, I mean, as I said, like EduTap is really doing very well, very great to have them here, and I'm sure like their knowledge will be very helpful for all of you in terms of content marketing. As Deepak just said, like content is not just a king, but also a kingmaker. And they have really cracked it really well. I don't think I've seen any academy or institute cracking the content piece so well than EduTap. So they have been very stellar in this. So we'll just get started. So just stay tuned, guys, and please keep your questions coming in. So we'll be very excited to take these questions in the end. And we'll try to wrap up in just next 40-45 minutes. So we have some series of questions for Deepak. So my first question to you, Deepak, is what are the core principles of content marketing and why it is very essential to attract and retain students?
Right. See, Ranjan, as I mentioned earlier, when I say that content is the kingmaker, what I actually mean is that whoever has the right content for the right audience at the right time on the right platform will eventually, not in just a couple of days or a couple of weeks, eventually that person will attract students. That academy will have trust flowing from the students towards the academy, and ultimately it will lead to enrollment. So when we say what are the principles of content, I just answered it, that you should have the right content for the right audience on the right platform at the right time. Let me just dig in a little deeper by taking an example. Let's say that someone is giving online coaching for, let's say, UPSC civil services. Let's take that example because that is some examination that is, well known. So everyone will be able to relate. So someone who is giving coaching in the online space for civil services, they need to first of all understand who they are making content for. Obviously, they would be making content for people who are in the specific age bracket of 21 to 30 years and with some age relaxation 32 years. What are the queries and the pain points or the daily challenges that those people who are aspiring to become an IAS officer or an IPS officer or an IRS officer for that matter, what are they facing on a daily basis? You need to get really intimate with that particular student, or that, okay, what are they dreaming about? What are their aspirations? What are their goals? What are the daily challenges that they are facing? What are they searching for? They must be having certain problems. They must be facing certain challenges. So let's make content on that. That will actually resonate with the audience. That when they will absorb, they will feel that, okay, yeah, this person gets me. This person knows what I am going through day in and day out. He gets me even more than I get myself. Or this particular academy gets me more than I get myself. And that is where trust is generated. That is where a rapport is generated. So understanding the audience, understanding their pain points, understanding the platform. That, see, for us edtech people or educators, YouTube is the go-to platform, right? The first thing that we do is, okay, after buying the domain name for our organization, okay, let's make a YouTube channel. We need to understand the platform. What is YouTube expecting out of a creator? We cannot just say कि अच्छा मैं तो ये डालूंगा, YouTube की मर्जी है, वो दिखाए चाहे ना दिखाए. No, that is not how things will work. We have to understand the platform. We have to understand what is YouTube expecting out of a creator. How is the SEO on YouTube working? What are the thumbnails for? What is the title for? What is the description for? What are the tags for? What are the hashtags for? What are the playlist names for? And I, Ranjan, feel very sad while saying this, that most of us, like, we do not pay attention to these things, that ठीक है video बना दे डाल देते हैं. That is now how things will work. Making a video is a separate story, but making sure that video reaches your audience and they actually click on it, and after clicking they actually absorb the content that you have put. That is what we are aiming for. We are not aiming for just producing videos. We are aiming to make those videos reach the right audience, and it is to be absorbed by that audience. So we have to understand the platform. And when I say we have to understand the right time, by right time I mean, see, we have a Diwali season coming up, right? So all the e-commerce people or the D2C people, they will be betting heavily on this season, and they would be investing a lot in all kinds of marketing, be it organic, be it inorganic, be it affiliate, everything. Why? Because they know that this is the time then when people will shop. This is the time when organizations will shop for their employees. This is the time when normal people will shop for their friends, their family, their relatives. So
Yes.
in the examination also, there is a cycle. When the notification is about to come, there is a lot of trend in the market, that the keywords that you are looking for or the topics that you are wanting to put content for, they will start to go up in the trend. But when it is the dead season, that okay, the result is out and people are just lying around, they are preparing for next year, they are not very serious right now. So by time, what I mean is that when the iron is hot, you need to strike at that particular time, and then have some patience, that okay, if I put content consistently for, let's say, 3 months, 6 months, eventually it will start reaching the right audience, and I will start getting leads out of it. That is the starting point, and these are the core principles of content marketing that we have to understand. The understanding the audience,
Yeah.
understanding the platform, understanding the audience's challenges so that you can have topics to make content on, and understanding the right time when to put what content on that particular platform. These are the principles.
Great. Got it, Deepak. Yeah, I think it certainly makes sense. Putting the right content at the right time, so that kind of takes almost 50% of the things taken care of, right? Like right content at the right time. So yeah, absolutely. Just adding on to it, Deepak, like, I mean, how effectively do you identify your target audience for pitching out these educational content? And also, if you can just, I think you talked about the primary audience. How do you identify the secondary audience so that you can broaden the segment, right? So, especially when this, I mean, I know you just talked about writing the right, I mean, using the right keywords, understanding what people are searching or the students in this segment are searching for. Apart from that, like, do you also think of capturing the second level of audience or the secondary audience also? So what could that be for content marketing?
Ranjan, can you please elaborate a bit more on the secondary audience? What exactly do you mean by secondary audience?
So the secondary audience could be anyone like who is also preparing for a relevant exam, like for example, not exactly for NABARD or RBI, but for some other exam which is probably has some relevance, or he or she can still consider these examinations, something
Yeah,
like that.
understood. Understood. Thank you. See, for the primary audience, Ranjan, I'll just answer this question in two parts, for the primary audience and for the secondary audience. How do you identify the primary audience first?
Yeah.
In my experience, what I have seen is that people who are, coming online to teach certain courses, most of them, they have perhaps themselves been through that journey.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I myself was preparing for civil services. I have taken the RB grade B exam as well. So most of the teachers who are coming online, they have themselves, most of them, I'll not say everyone, but most of them, a majority of them would have themselves gone through that entire journey themselves. So they deeply empathize with the target audience, and they also know who the target audience is because they were that target audience a few years back or a few months back.
Yes.
So to identify the demographic factors and the psychographic factors of that particular audience, that is not a big deal for them because they were the target audience a few months back. They themselves were the target audience a few months back or a few years back. If someone is, let's say, if someone has not gone through that process, then I would say that you need to see, that is something that is not easy to do, but very
Yes.
important
Yes.
to do, that you
Yes.
need to go and meet your target audience. You will have offline centers, you will have offline cities where your target audience would be residing. There would be a coaching bazaar, and you can stand there. Obviously, a tough thing to do, but for a businessman, I think for an entrepreneur, these things make sense. That okay, you
Yes.
go and you talk to your target audience, right? So that, as I
Absolutely.
said earlier, you should know them better than they know themselves. And when I say you should know them better than they know themselves, you should understand their demography, one, and their psychography. That is the most important part because we people, we like a good story. We are emotional human beings. We are human beings, so we have
Yeah.
emotions. We connect with emotions. We don't connect with facts. We connect with a good story, right? So we have to become a storyteller when when we are producing content. So what are they afraid of? What are their challenges? What are their dreams? What do they think day in and day out? What is stopping them to achieve their dreams? These are all the psychographic factors that you can meet those people offline and you can talk to them. You can even have a survey, or you can just spend some time with them without any what do I say, any ulterior motive in mind. Just get to know your audience. That is how you can go about knowing the different parameters of your target audience, number one. When it comes to secondary audience, once you get to know the primary audience, you will automatically get some idea, okay, that okay, if this kind of audience is preparing for this particular examination or examinations, why can't this particular audience also prepare for this exam? Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, this is like commonsensical. Let me also try a few things. Let me try to attract these secondary set of audiences and see that can I convince them? Does this examination make sense for them? For example, for us, what happened was civil services is something that an aspirant is aiming for. But civil services, we all know that we get 800 to 1000 vacancies in a year, and more than 10 lakh aspirants are preparing for the examination. So obviously, the success rate is going to be 800 to 1000 vacancies. But what is the other percentage, a huge percentage doing? Are they going for state civil services? Are they going for banking and SSC examinations? Are they going into teaching like I did when I was not able to clear civil services? Are they going for private MBAs? Are they going for higher education abroad? What are they doing? I cannot believe that all of them would be going to, let's say, foreign universities to study. That is just common sense that everyone will not be going there. I know from my experience that okay, state civil services is something that is not very much formalized. It has a lot of erratic patterns. I also know that someone who is aiming for IAS will not be satisfied when they become a probationary officer in a bank or they become an income tax inspector through SSC CGL examination. So what is that level of examination? What is that particular segment which can promise the same or a similar level of stature, a similar level of salary, a similar level of promotion and job growth as the civil services, but easier to crack, and someone can just come down to it. If they're not able to do this, they can come down to it. So this is where we came in by the name of regulatory bodies examinations. That okay, RBI is something that will give them closure. NABARD is something that will give them closure. SEBI is something that will give them closure. So for us, the primary audience was that okay, someone who was not clearing UPSC, then they came into these examinations, and the secondary audience was once we got the primary audience, we talked to them. There were a few people from the secondary audience, which when we talked to them, okay, yeah, acha, I did an MBA from a good college and I was not keen towards private service. I wanted to give RBI examination. Oh, that's a good secondary audience. Let us target good MBA colleges, top 30, top 50 MBA colleges, and they would be perhaps interested in RBI grade examination. Sir, I was from agriculture background. I could not crack, different agriculture examinations. I don't want to be a specialist officer in a bank. So I gave NABARD grade. Oh, that's great. That is a very good secondary audience, that people who are preparing for agriculture, who have come from agriculture background, they did BSc agriculture or BTech agriculture, they are not satisfied with IBPS specialist officer examination, and they are aiming for something better for themselves. That is NABARD grade. It is in India. Let me make content for them. Let me try to attract them, and let's see what is the conversion happening. So this is how we can go about identifying the primary and the secondary audience over a period of time. This cannot happen in a day. So we need to be close to our audience and talk to them, listen to them especially. Don't be a passive listener, be a very active listener, and they will tell you certain things that will just click. अच्छा यार हाँ ये तो इन्होंने बोला था, तो let's target this. Let's try and go out and try to collect audience from this and see what the conversion is. So this is how we have gone about, Ranjan.
Got it, Deepak. Yeah, I mean, perfect. Makes sense. So I think, yeah, I mean, probably anyone who is kind of trying to do this has to primarily target the primary audience first and then think of the secondary audience, right? It can't be like I'll target both primary and secondary when I start. So that probably strategy will not be so effective, I believe. So what do you say?
The problem here is, I would like to just add one point, Ranjan, sorry, that in the secondary audience, the conversion rate is low. And the time it will take to convert is higher as compared to the primary audience, because they are not the primary audience. You have put that seed in them that you can take this exam also. So they will take their own sweet time to get acclimatized with that concept that okay, achha, this is also something that I can give. A few would be like, we have some people who are early adopters, then some are fence sitters, and some people who will think about it and then decide. So the early adopters in the secondary audience are few. Most of them would be, you would need to convince them that okay, this is something that you can look at. So they will take their own sweet time. That is the lead nurturing part. The nurturing part is higher for them as compared to the primary audience, who are actually in the market to prepare for that examination and they're looking for a course. So secondary takes a bit more time. That is why primary focus should be on the primary audience, and simultaneously we can build the secondary audience as well.
Sure, Deepak. Yeah, I mean, perfect. Great. Moving on, Deepak, can you elaborate on the social media strategies, like the key social media strategies that has helped you in promoting these content and to reach the broader audience? So what kind of social media has worked well for you, and what do you suggest like for the budding entrepreneurs?
Yeah, see, I'll be very honest here that our social media strategy has evolved over time, right? So we
Yes,
were not good when we started. We are still good in certain platforms, but extremely bad in certain platforms, and we're working on it. So I'll just
right.
share what I have learned. The primary is YouTube. There are no, two things about it. For education, primary is YouTube. YouTube makes a lot of sense. And we
Mhm.
all know that YouTube is the second most, used search engine after Google.
Yes, yes,
So if someone is searching on Google, you can expect them to search on YouTube as well.
right.
So YouTube makes the, finest sense when it comes to education sector. You can have multiple channels, you can have a single channel as
Mhm.
it works for you. If you are targeting multiple examinations, you can have multiple channels as some brands are doing. We have also done that. We have 5 channels. If you are targeting a very, small set of examinations and they fall under one particular segment, then you can have one particular channel. If some people have also tried having a shorts channel different from the main videos channel, because I think YouTube is also confused what they want to do. Do they want to become a long form content channel, or they want to become a short form content channel? So that is the thing. So YouTube is primary. YouTube has worked wonders for us. We have a question whenever we get an incoming call, or whenever we talk to a student, we definitely ask them that which platform was the first platform where you heard about us. So
Got it.
more than 60% students, they answer YouTube. Right. So that is a huge percentage, but it also tells me that we are over reliant on YouTube. So this number also tells me that on one hand, YouTube has worked, but on the other hand, we are overly dependent on YouTube, and that should not be a case, and we should have a healthy mix. So
Right.
now what we have started doing is we have started using Instagram and Quora. So Instagram
Oh,
is
nice.
something that, we all know we are addicted to reels. We just keep on scrolling reels. So there are
Yes.
certain types of reels, 4 to 5 types of reels that we have identified. But always keep in mind that the objective of putting content on different platforms cannot be the same. It cannot be the same.
Got it.
If you are
Got it.
putting content via reels on Instagram,
Mhm.
it can be more of brand awareness, like most top of the funnel content. I'm not talking about ads. I'm just talking about organic content. It can be more of top of the funnel content, because here
Right.
is where you are making the audience aware. You are telling them. It can be memes, it can be trolls, it can be informative videos, it can be motivational videos. Different kinds of content will work on reels. But on Instagram, the
Yes.
primary objective for us is brand building, brand awareness.
Got it. Okay.
People should become aware that we are also existing, and we are waiting for that one particular reel that will go viral, and we'll get a lot of quoting content, so that brand awareness happens on YouTube primarily. I don't believe that it is only a brand awareness channel. Yes, it works in brand awareness, but it is a
Yeah.
extremely good lead nurturing channel. So
Got
once you
it.
get people on your particular video and the video is worth watching, and that person stays on that video for 30-40% of the length of the video, that lead will have certain feelings about you. They may be good, they may be bad, depending on the content that you have just shown that person. We are hoping that
Yeah.
it will be good, depending on the content that you have shown to that person, but it will also qualify and nurture your lead to a great extent, the YouTube platform. Now, when it comes to Quora, Quora is again a platform where there are spaces. People must be
Mhm.
aware that Quora has spaces. Quora has
Yes.
Q&As, right? And there are a lot of questions for every examination. Some people who are attending this particular webinar, they must have seen that when you search something on Google, Quora is a particular website that will rank in the top 5 or top 10. Definitely it will rank for every query, because there are so many questions there. And if you have start answering those questions, delete your question, and you then give a link to your accounts, that person, if the answer is adding value to the question, that person will visit your website or that person will visit your channel. So Quora works in terms of adding value to the questions that are written. I don't want that, okay, very short answers are written and then you give a person should come to a website. So I'll just put 2 lines and then give the link to a website and the person will visit. No, that is not what we are aiming for. We are aiming for a long form, particular, complete answer to that query that the question has been asked, that the person has asked. And then you are asking that, okay, for more, then you can visit. But get the answer to that query in that answer itself. So YouTube works, Ranjan, Quora works, Instagram works. Facebook, for certain examinations, I think there are certain communities and groups on Facebook. If you can ask the moderator to, allow you certain posting, or if you want to, at the very, brand awareness stage or the branding stage, if you want to have a page for yourself, fine. You can have a page to yourself and you can start putting content there. But for us, what has worked is YouTube, number one. Number two, Quora, extremely important. And number three, Instagram. And number four, sorry, Telegram channel. Oh my God, I just forgot that. Telegram is important. Telegram is really important because, I don't know why, because it's not a very good platform to use, but still for aspirants of different examinations, Telegram is the go-to platform because they get a lot of free material, a lot of leaked material, a lot of paid material for free on Telegram groups and channels. So somehow it has become a very important platform for aspirants. I have not seen anyone in my family use Telegram. I have not seen anyone in my office use Telegram. But students, they definitely have a Telegram. They definitely join a lot of groups and channels. And then they, get a lot of free material, free advice, good advice, bad advice, paid material, tests, notes, PDFs on Telegram. So we also have an extensive affiliate partnership with more than, I think, 30 Telegram partners we have who have access to close to 300 groups and channels. So we also give them posts so that they can, distribute in their various communities. And for us, again, Telegram is a channel for brand awareness as well as, conversion.
Got it.
We have certain channels for awareness and we have certain channels for conversion, where we know that the audience is primarily the targeted audience, but okay, it will help us in branding. It will just put the word out there that EduTap is something, EduTap is also a brand, EduTap is also a company, and they do this. So this is something that has worked. YouTube, we have been extremely consistent with YouTube for the past many years now.
Got it. So I think when you say like YouTube, in your case, I believe like your primary audience or the primary users would be coming from YouTube, right? Like the most conversions you would be expecting from those who are like subscribed on YouTube or who watched your YouTube channel. I think you also mentioned that when you ask students who have come on to your platform, like when they have taken your courses. So I think that answer is most, in your case, it's most of it is YouTube, right? So the traffic is generated through YouTube, or the core of the traffic is generated through YouTube. Got it. Good.
I'll just give an example, a small example, Ranjan, if time permits, I'll just share an example.
Yeah, please, yes.
If you allow me 2 minutes, I'll share an example. Like we recently started with a segment called IIBF examinations. So I don't know if people are aware about it, but JAIIB and CAIIB examinations are 2 certificate examinations conducted by a body named IIBF. And people who are already working in a bank as an officer or as a clerk, they can take these certificate examinations to get salary increment and reduction in the years taken for promotion. So we started this channel very recently, I think not more than 4 or 5 months. We started this channel. And in this exam cycle, like in October 2023 exam cycle, we have more than 300 admissions in this particular segment, where we ourselves started around 5 months back. We didn't have any idea. We started 5 months back and we have 300 admissions in this particular October cycle. So that is a good start. And we have just a YouTube channel to promote ourselves. That's it. No Telegram channel, no Instagram handle, no blog, nothing. We just recently started with a website and a blog around this particular segment, but through just a YouTube channel, we got 300 admissions through this particular, for this particular examination. So that is the power of YouTube. But
Nice.
again, I would say that do not put all your eggs in one basket. Build your own website, build or your own blog, right? Because that is something that you own. Instagram is not that you own. YouTube is not something that you own. You own your website, you own your email list, you own your blog. So that is
Yeah.
something that should form at least 30-40% of the total business that is coming in. So that is something that we have started now. So we have started writing blogs, we have started building a proper website, and we plan to decrease our dependence on YouTube and increase our dependence on assets that we ourselves own.
Got it. Got it. Got it. No, it was very interesting to see, Deepak, like when you mentioned that you got this 300 enrollments for this particular exam. I believe it is a very, very niche examination, which is not very popular or not many people would be aspiring for. So even in that kind of a very niche segment, if you are able to get that kind of enrollment, it's really, it's actually, I would say it's a very good thing to see that it has happened like that. Right. So, yeah, I mean, you can also extrapolate that. Yeah, I mean, if you are probably in a bigger segment of audience, I mean, if you're targeting a bigger segment of audience, then probably these enrollments also will be on a higher number, right? So it also depends on, as you said, like what kind of examinations we are looking at or the institute is looking at, right? So the more the audience, the more probability to get them enrolled. I mean, the more volumes can be expected, right? So, Deepak, moving on, like, how has this content marketing has helped in building the trust and credibility with your audience? So, how important is this? Like, content marketing is one piece. We talked about social media, how to use social media and all, but does it also reflect something about your brand, and does it really build trust among the users? So, if so, like, what is your take on that?
Ranjan, I think content is the primary thing that builds trust. Everything else
Yeah.
is just bells and whistles. Everything else is just bells and whistles.
Hmm.
Content is the cake. उसके ऊपर आप cherry लगा लो, candle लगा लो, that is all the bells
Hmm.
and whistles. But the complete cream and the bread, the complete cake, the
Yeah.
actual thing that you eat, that is content in our particular sector.
Got
So
it.
I can't think of anything more important than content to build that trust. I can make hundreds of promises standing on a Facebook ad. I can make thousands of promises in a YouTube ad. But ultimately, the consumer is not Bewkoof, है ना? He's not
Yeah.
stupid. He or she is not
Yeah.
stupid. They
Hmm.
will look at your content, be it the study material, be it your blog content, be it your YouTube videos, be it your Instagram posts. They will have an image of your brand or your company in their mind. And I think 100% of the attendees who are attending this particular session would want that image to be good. So my question to you is, what are you doing to make that image that you want them to have in your mind, in their mind? So that is done through content. That is entirely done through content. So if we are, like making a YouTube video, we have to give content that they can relate to, that they feel
Yeah.
that, okay, this is something that has been made for me, keeping me in mind. If we are
Hmm.
writing a blog post, we have to write content on that. See, when we write blog posts, we generally talk about SEO, crawler will come, bot will come, what is Google saying, EAT framework, schema, blah, blah, blah. And we forget the user. Google is not saying that you forget the user and you write content to please me. If the user is pleased, I'm automatically pleased.
Yes.
If the user is pleased, he or she will spend more time on your website. The dwell
Yes.
time will increase. The bounce rate will decrease.
Yes.
They will sift through multiple pages of your website. That is good enough indication for us that your content has something that they are liking.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So for me, it's a three-step game. I'll just elaborate on that. For me, content marketing or content creation is a three-step game. First of all, you have to deeply understand your audience. I cannot stress this enough that you have to deeply, deeply understand your audience. You have to understand them better than they understand themselves. This is what I say to my team. You have to understand them better than they understand themselves. Number one. Once you understand your audience deeply, and then the second step would be, once you have understood them, you would be able to figure out what are the challenges and the pain points and the queries that they have.
Okay.
Because once you get to know them, you would definitely come to know that these are the challenges that they are facing. These are the queries that they have. These are the pain points that they are facing on a daily basis. Make content on this particular thing. That is the step three. Make a list of these things in step 2, and then make content on this particular thing. Don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about your brand. It's just the difference between a feature and a benefit. In a feature, I talk about myself. Okay, this much gigapixel camera, this much gigabyte space. But in the benefit part, I'm talking about the same feature from the user point of view.
Yes.
I'll tell them, okay, this will give you more battery life so that you don't have to carry a charger along with you. That is why 5000 mAh battery makes sense. Saying 5000 mAh is a feature by telling them that, okay, you don't have to carry a charger along with you. You don't have to worry about your phone dying on you. That is a benefit for them that they can relate to.
Absolutely.
So, deeply understand your audience, identify their pain points, challenges, and queries, and then make content accordingly. Understand the platform and make content accordingly. But all the content would be somewhere in the step number 2, where we'll be talking about their challenges, their pain points, and their queries. Starting from brand building till conversion. From top of the funnel till bottom of the funnel, the content will be on this particular thing, but according to the platform, the tone of the content will change. Second point I would like to say here is that always define a brand voice. You must talk to your team and define a brand voice. What do you stand for? What are your values? Because if we look at the definition of content marketing now, I have just written it down. I'll just read it loud for everyone because this is where we should start. Content marketing is a strategic marketing and business process focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and ultimately drive profitable customer action. This is the definition of content marketing. So if we want to drive profitable customer action, we have to give them content that is valuable to them, that is relevant to them. We have to push content out consistently to a clearly defined audience. And we have to attract the audience through the content. We have to delight the audience through a content. We have to engage the audience through a content. So content is, as I said earlier, not just the king, but the kingmaker. So
absolutely.
Everything depends on content, Ranjan, especially in our market.
Absolutely. I think it's very relevant to any brand as such. It's not just for for coaching institutes as such, but any brand for that matter. I think every brand will actually. This is a strategy that has been worked successfully for many of the brands, right? Because you have to create content which it reflects to your audience, right? If they are not able to make the connect, there is no way that things will move forward. And also, I just want to highlight what you just mentioned, like when it comes to like search engines or even like social media platforms, all of them want people to get engaged in your content. If you're putting something where people are not engaging with your content, obviously that content will get a lower ranking compared to one which has more interactions or likes or views or whatever, right? So it ultimately, everything is revolved under the viewer centric, I would say, or the consumer centric, right? Nobody is saying that you have to tell more about your brand. That's not the thing. So you have to talk about what the consumer wants. Well said, Deepak. Well taken. Thanks for that. Thanks for sharing that insight. Moving on. So specifically, this question is for those who are getting started. So what do you recommend for those who are getting started? What specific tools or resources they should be looking at to create the contents to secure their first 1,000 students? Or you can also reflect upon what you did to acquire your first 1,000 students. So some thoughts around that.
Yes, see, for the first 1,000 students, Ranjan, we have to work at 3 levels. I would say, let me just simplify it for you, for everyone, sorry. First is we have to ask ourselves, how will the, not exactly how, where will I get the visitors from? Because the first step is I need to have something at the awareness level. If today, let's take an example, a very rough example. Let's say today I want to start with engineering examinations. I have no clue about it. So how will I go about it? I'll just tell you how will I go about it. Let's say I have to start engineering examinations, GATE and IES and different engineering examinations. I have no clue about it. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll deeply study the syllabus, the notification, and the previous year questions of that particular paper. I am assuming that someone who is starting with engineering examinations must be having some prior experience regarding these examinations. But if someone is like me, who has no experience in these examinations, so I would deeply study that. I would read the notification. I would see the trends in the examination, what kind of trends, what kind of previous year questions, what kind of syllabus is the paper asking. I will also do simultaneously a competitor research that, okay, what all products are my competition offering? What is my competition? What are they offering? And what do have students? What are students saying about it? Everything can be done online. It's very easy. Notifications you can get from the official website. Previous year questions you can just search on Google. The products, you obviously the competitor will be having some website, they will be showcasing their products, it will have all the features and benefits, and you would get certain Telegram channels or Quora communities where you would get reviews that, okay, this is something that they're talking about regarding the competition. This is the first step that I would do. From this first step, what I'm trying to understand is I'm deeply trying to understand the exam, and I'm deeply trying to understand the audience that I would be catering to. These two things I need to understand first: the exam and simultaneously the audience. I would also go one step further, and if possible, I would go and talk to them personally. If there is some area, if there is some city, if there is some coaching center where I know a bulk of my audience would be present, I would personally go. I would have some questions in mind. I would say, "Chalo chai peete hain. I need your 15 minutes." I'll take them to a tea stall. I'll pay for that tea and a biscuit perhaps, and I would ask them those questions so that I can understand what my target audience is thinking. Because as I said earlier, I need to deeply, intimately understand them. This is the first step that I would do. The second step that I would do is, after understanding the examination and the audience, I would start a YouTube channel. I would straight away come home. I would definitely make a YouTube channel. And now, I have become a little wiser than I was 3 years back. I would also start a blog around it, a segment in my blog around it. I would start that because I understand what their challenges are. I understand what their pain points are. I'll make a list of that because from the first step, I have gotten all that: the challenges, the queries, the pain points, what are their needs, what are their requirements, how is the competition fulfilling them, where is the competition lagging, what all products they are having, right? Everything I have gotten. So I'll secondly start a YouTube channel and I'll start a blog around it. Right. I'll consistently start putting content on my YouTube channel. I'll start putting content on my blog without looking at the number of views, at least for the first 6 months, because that is a parameter that demotivates a lot of people, including me. I'll not lie here that, okay, if I get 20 views in one day, I'll say, yaar, chal nahi raha, yaar, kya banega? 20 views is such a low number. I want 2 million views. I want 20,000 views. But I'll put content consistently, trusting the platform that, okay, if I'm putting the right thumbnail, the right title, the right tags, the right hashtags, the right description, and my content has value, then I would push consistently for the next 6 months. Another interesting thing that I would do in step number 2 is I would start making something that can be used as a lead magnet. Right. And I would put that in my blog as well as my YouTube channel, in my YouTube video. I'll make a simple landing page. I'll put a form there. I'll ask the students, whoever is watching, that, okay, this is something that I have made for you. It has blah, blah, blah. That blah, blah, blah means a solution to their pain point that I have identified in step number 1, that this particular guide or ebook or hack book has the solution to your problem that I know is true because I have talked to them in step number 1. So I'll start collecting data also. Why I have started collecting data? Because they will take their own sweet time to convert. So I cannot launch a product on day 1 and say, why are they not converting? I have to have a funnel, something in the pipeline so that when I have a product, then I have someone to pitch it to. And that someone is that list that I am building from day 1. So I'll make a guide, I'll make a hack book, I'll make a simple landing page, a simple form. WordPress will do, no problem at all. There are free plugins available, free landing pages. I'll make that. I'll start collecting data. This is step number 2 that I'll do: YouTube and blog and a lead magnet. Step number 3, I'll hope and pray that, okay, I'm pushing content regularly. I am writing blogs regularly. I understand how YouTube works. I understand how SEO works, and I'm putting content. I am getting 5-10 leads a day. I've started getting it. I'll start working on my product. That, okay, let's make a minimum viable product. That we say that, okay, let's make a small product so that I can test that, am I cut out for this game? Is my audience liking what I am, that I would be launching, let's say 6 months from now? Let me make a small thing and let's give it for a very economical fee. Let's say 99 rupees, 100 rupees, 400 rupees, 500 rupees, according to the examination, according to the target audience, whatever is comfortable for them. That minimum amount will vary according to the paying capacity of the user, and that paying capacity will vary according to the examination that we are into. So let me make that. Step number 3, along with hoping and praying, I'll make a small minimum viable product, a very small thing, can be a test series, can be a crash course, can be something, depending on the examination. And I'll make that. And when the time is right, the timing part, when the time is right means when the notification has come out. I know that people are now coming into the market for some products regarding this examination. I launch that. Where will I launch it? On YouTube. I'll launch it. If I have a website, I'll launch it. Who will I distribute it to? The email list that I have gathered. I will distribute it to that email list. And I'm sure at least 1 to 2% should convert, because if I have deeply understood what they want in step number 1 and made my product accordingly, it can be an MVP, but I have made it according to their needs. 1 to 2% should convert. Once they have converted, I will deeply talk to them. I will take that time and talk to those 1-2% conversions so that I better understand why did they take my product? What made them join me? There were other players. Why did they join me? Why did they choose me? What is working in my favor? Right. So that thing that I identify that, okay, this is working in my favor, I will double down on that. This is working in my favor. This is where I need to improve, but this is something that is working in my favor. I will double down on that and make my main product according to that and keep the YouTube channel and the blog going. So this is how I will proceed. So this is how you will get leads. Through the list that you have created, you can also send them broadcast messages. You can send them newsletters so that they keep on nurturing. When the product is launched, you will tell them that the product is launched. Once they enroll, 1 to 2% enroll, you talk to them, you make sure that they get what they want. They get selection, they get success. At least they don't curse you later. That sir ki wajah se nahi hua. They say that, okay, we were at fault, but he or they put their best effort. Then they will tell 10 other people. And plus my YouTube channel has started growing. My blog visitors have started growing. And slowly and steadily, I will start getting more and more leads, more and more admissions. So this is how I will proceed towards 1,000 admissions slowly and steadily. If the bandwidth allows, I would also have some other things. See, if I was talking in the context of a single person or a 1-2 person team. If I have a large team in place, then I would go all out. I would also run ads. I would definitely run ads on YouTube, ads on Facebook, like Meta, Instagram and Facebook. If the audience is on LinkedIn, I would run on LinkedIn as well. I will definitely use YouTube ads and Google ads. Definitely, if I have the resources, if I have the skill set, if I have the manpower to accelerate the same process that I was doing organically. The process is not different. It will just act as a catalyst. So it will accelerate what I was trying to achieve organically, the ads wala part. That's it.
Absolutely. No, makes sense, Deepak. I think the key takeaway I would take from here is probably the point that you just mentioned. Like after you have understood your audience, like creating a content, pushing it on YouTube, and at the same time creating something blog or some article which is hosted on your website. Taki, like people come on your site, they kind of enroll to that. You get the lead information like email, phone numbers, which obviously you will be collecting. I mean, the sooner you start collecting, it's better for anyone, right? So absolutely. I mean, that is the key thing I would say. The sooner you guys start, like that is what really matters in most of the cases. And I think over the time you will be gathering these lead informations, and it certainly helps you to get those conversions when you have the full-fledged content ready, right? Deepak, I think we'll have one final question and then we'll open up for Q&A. And for the audience, I know we have been very patient, guys. So just bear with us for one more question and we'll open up for Q&A. And meanwhile, keep your questions flowing. I think there are a few questions already put in, but in case if you are still waiting to put your questions, please feel free to add it. We'll just open it up in a couple of minutes once this question is done. So my last question to you is, Deepak, like how do you measure the effectiveness we have talked about all this content marketing stuff. So what is the measure? Like when do you say that it has worked? What metrics do you see? And when do you say that it has worked? And when do you say that it needs a change or you need to scrap this? So basically my question to you is, what are the effective ways to measure the effectiveness of your content marketing?
Right. See, Ranjan, that is a beautiful question, because when it comes to measurement, we tend to falter, na? Ki chal to raha hai kaam, kya zarurat hai measure karne ka? But no, something that is not measured, it cannot be then tweaked and made right accordingly. See, before we start to measure anything, we have to set an objective, because we have to have a parameter to measure against. So if you do not have a parameter to measure against, if you do not have a goal that was set in for that particular content marketing, then measurement makes no sense. Hai? It cannot be an afterthought. It has to be decided first that okay, this is what we are trying to achieve. This is the parameter or the KPI, if I can say this is the KPI that we have set. And against this measure, we will be starting to measure our performance over a period of quarter or a month or a weekly basis, whatever. So when it comes to content marketing, there are 8-9 elements in that, and the measurement KPI for every element will be different. If I talk about, let's say, social media, because content marketing, my first part is the one part is social media. In social media, there are multiple platforms. So if I talk about YouTube, then a good metrics to measure your YouTube performance would be number one, you have to see that, okay, what is your click-through rate, CTR. These were the impressions that YouTube showed. What was the click-through rate? Click-through rate basically means that the number of time your particular thumbnail was clicked upon the number of impressions it was shown into 100. So if YouTube showed it 100 times, impressions were 100, and it was clicked 2 times, so 2 upon 100 into 100, it will be 2% CTR.
2%, yeah.
So I would advise, not advise, like the target CTR can be somewhere around 4 to 6%. That is a very good CTR, 4 to 6%. Anything above 6% is great. I would love to talk to that person because I'm not able to do that beyond 6%. So anything between 4 to 6% is good, not great. I'm sorry, good. Beyond 6% is excellent, like extremely good. 10% is Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, like, oh, too good. Like, so somewhere between 4 to 6% is good. The second metrics that is important for YouTube is average watch time. CTR will give you the effectiveness of your thumbnails.
Yes.
Like, because it is a click-through rate. Na? So how are we clicking on that particular video? By looking at the thumbnail these days. We don't read the title. We don't see the description. We don't see, to a large extent, which channel has posted that. We look at the thumbnail, we get attracted, we click. So to a very large extent, the CTR is telling you the effectiveness of your thumbnails, to a very large extent. And the average watch time is telling you what was actually inside the video, the effectiveness of that. So was the teacher or the educator able to hold the audience for a longer period of time? Were they delivering value? Were they trying to solve a challenge that the aspirant is facing? So CTR, thumbnail effectiveness, average watch time, contents effectiveness. These two are very important parameters. And number 3, I would like to check is in the YouTube analytics section, I would like to see on what all keywords my YouTube video appeared. That, okay, these are the terms or these are the search terms on which my impressions were shown. Are they the words or the search terms that I am targeting? Is YouTube showing my content on the search terms that I actually wanted to show? I will ask that question. I'll see that report that, okay, these are the words on which my, videos impressions are being shown. So these 3 important parameters, see, I have deliberately not said likes, shares, comments, and views. Because they flow out of this. If this is right, this will automatically come. I will not run after likes. I will not run after views. I will not run after comments. If I know that the CTR is good and the average watch time is good, I cannot believe that your comments will not be there. Likes will not be there and views will not be there. They will come if these 2 things are correct. And those likes, comments, and shares are the output that we don't have any control of. CTR and average watch time is something that I as a creator have control of. Because I make the thumbnail, I make the content. That is where I come in. So let's talk about things that I have control of instead of things that the viewers have control of. Right. So this is about YouTube, Ranjan. If I talk about other aspects of content marketing, like if I talk about blog, that is also an aspect of content marketing. In blog, what I would like to see is, I would like to go into Google Search Console. I would see that, okay, what are the impressions? Again, the same metrics will work there. What are the impressions? What is the average search position? And what is the CTR? And what is the number of clicks? These 4 are the primary, parameters that are shown on at the top overview section of the Google Search Console. Then I would dig a little deeper into the examinations that I'm catering. If they are more than 1, I would say that, okay, let's say RBI Grade B examination. Let's see what is the performance of this particular examination. I would see that, okay, these are the search terms. These are the posts that are ranking. This is the average search position. This is the number of impressions. This is the number of clicks. And through those clicks, if I have a lead magnet in place on those pages, are they getting downloaded? Is the user stopping on that particular page. So like there is watch time, there is bounce rate here or dwell time here. So I'll see how much time are they spending on my page. Are they interacting with my content? Is my content adding value to their lives? So if it is adding value, they will stop there on my content. They will read my content. If my content is not adding value, they will not read my content. The bounce rate will be high. So I will check all these things in case of a blog. If I talk about a newsletter, which is also a part of a content marketing, I would look at the open rate and the click rate. That okay, if I have sent let's say 100 emails, I will see that how many people. First of all, I'll see the delivery. That okay, out of 100, how many were delivered? Let's say 90 were delivered, 10 were spam emails. Out of 90, how many opened it, and how many clicked on the link that if I had any link inside the body of the email, how many clicked on that? So that I'll monitor. If I'm looking at other aspects of content marketing, like let's say like it will change according to the aspects of the content marketing that I'm talking about.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I
So
think,
the basic is, the bottom line is, what is your content doing for the user? You have to have those parameters. For the user, not for you, for the user.
Got it.
What is your content doing for the user? It is intended for.
Got it. And also, I think it kind of differs for different platforms, right? Like the metrics that you would be measuring for YouTube is different. The metrics that you would be measuring in Instagram is different. Or for blog is different. For email is different. Yeah, that perfectly makes sense. Yes. So I think by large, as you said, like I mean, and also like I think probably one thing which I would like to know from you is content has many aspects to it, or many formats to it, right? The video is one, podcast is now also quite popular, which is more on audio based. Blogs are like more text things, right? So what according to you has worked well for you, and what in general your perception is, what kind of a content would work really well, Deepak? Is there
See, Ranjan, for
any
this, it all
findings?
depends.
Yeah.
It all depends on the audience that you are targeting. The step number one that I talked about. I need to deeply understand my audience. How do they like to consume content? I cannot say that, okay, Deepak likes to take content in videos form, so they will also like videos. I don't know that. I cannot say that. So I need to understand what is their profile, what is the platform that they want to spend time on. Some people like to watch a lot of, listen to a lot of podcasts. They may be traveling 2 hours a day. They may be in a meeting, blah, 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 in the washroom. They may be listening to podcasts. So it all depends on the type of audience that you are catering to. If we deeply understand the audience, we will know that which platform will work for them. In the education space, when we talk about actual content, study material content, I am assuming that videos content works best because they are actually looking at the teacher, they are looking at the board, they are looking at what he or she is writing on the board. So in terms of the study material content, if you are solving a question, you are explaining a concept, the video content works well. But in terms of motivation, like how to not procrastinate, what are the challenges you face as an aspirant, podcast can also work well. Videos and along with podcasts can also work well because they may be traveling to, let's say, the library. They can put that the pods in their ear and they can listen to that motivational podcast for, let's say, 8 minutes, 10 minutes before entering the library. That can give them a boost. But again, I would like to be very cautious here that it will all depend on the type of audience that we're catering to. For us, the study material content is mostly in the form of videos, and we have very recently launched a blog and a newsletter series. We are in the future, very near future, starting with a podcast and a podcast. So we are trying to experiment with different content types. And a beautiful thing about content is that it can be repurposed. You don't have to make unique content for every platform or in every format. You make one content, it can be repurposed into 10 different forms of content. So that is where efficiency comes in. You have one long form content, it can be made into 10 short form content. It can be made into a video, it can be made into a blog, it can be made into a guide, it can be made into a podcast. So repurposing of content really brings in the efficiency.
Got it, Deepak. Awesome. Nice. I think we have a lot of questions there. I can see about 12, 13 questions now. So probably we'll move on to Q&A. I know we are running late here. Guys, again, thanks very much for bearing with us. I know it's getting a bit late, but we'll, as soon as possible, we'll try to wrap up these questions and then we'll wrap it up. So just stay tuned for another 10 minutes or 15 minutes max. So we'll wrap it up. So the question is from Kamlesh. So Kamlesh, the best way to market on YouTube without delivering paid content there, YouTube content planning. I think this is a question that came in first, Deepak, which you read out when we started. So yeah, I think probably you can answer it well. I think yeah.
Yes. See, Kamlesh, what you are actually asking is that if I give all my paid content for free on YouTube, why will people come to my paid course? That is actually what you are trying to ask, right? Because I don't want to give all my paid content on YouTube for free. Then how do I put YouTube videos? If I put YouTube videos, all my content will eventually be out on YouTube, and people will. Why will they join my course? Right. This is what you are basically asking. See, what I'll tell you is in just two distinct steps. One is study material or teaching content is not the only type of content that can be put on YouTube. There are 5 total categories that we have identified that can be used to put content on YouTube. You can just note it down, or I'll just speak. First is the information about the examination. We call it exam information. So right from the notification to the exam dates, to the pattern, to the syllabus, to the cutoff marks, to the previous year questions, to the exam centers, everything falls under exam information. There can be a lot of content that can be put on YouTube around exam information. And the best time to put content on exam information is when the notification is about to be out or when the notification is out. This is the best time to put content on exam information. So no study material is being given in this particular video. So you can be rest assured that this particular content will work. Number 2, strategy. Strategy is a area where a lot of content can be made on YouTube without giving anything from your paid course. So if there are certain, let's say 5 subjects in your examination that you target, you can make strategy on that. What are the best sources? How to score this many marks? What are the mistakes that you must not strategy? There are a lot of strategy videos that you can, what do I say? Area is motivation. Extremely important. We tend to ignore this component that, okay, people are coming for strategy, people are coming for material, but no, a lot of people, they are looking for just inspiration. They are getting up इन द मॉर्निंग, आज फिर पढ़ना पड़ेगा, पिछली बार भी पेपर नहीं निकला था सर, मेरा क्या होगा, मेरा दोस्त तो वहां चला गया, उसकी तो शादी हो गई, उसके तो बच्चे हो गए, वो तो मलेशिया वो थाईलैंड घूमने गया है, वो मालदीव्स घूमने गया है. So a lot of people, they are looking for inspiration and motivation. So a lot of content can be pushed around this. Yes. For this, the person who is presenting this content has to be someone who knows what he or she is talking about. It cannot be that you read a book and then you start reciting the book tomorrow on the YouTube lecture. No, it has to come from experience. That, okay, you learn something in your preparation years, or you learn something in your business, they'll be able to relate. So this is, and another content that really works is success stories. Success stories is that people who have already cracked examination in the recent past, you can take snippets. See, a question can be that people, that sir, I'm really with this exam, I don't have any toppers. I don't have any selections. No credit to them when you are taking snippets from that. What they have said, the toppers have said. You say that in your own words, and you say that Mr. ABC also said this. Right? So it will not be a copyright claim. It will not be a copyright strike at all. So that is another form of content that really works. Success stories. Great. Right. So these type of content can be pushed, and if you teach it completely, you can give a part of let's say 100 hours. You teach it for 20 hours. What is the problem? Right. So that is not something that will cause a problem. Ranjan, I just wait. Huh? I think something is going on. I'll just ask them to stop. The drilling is going on.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Thanks. I think we have a lot of questions, guys. So probably it might take a bit more time. So just stay tuned. Probably I would say even if you take one minute per question, so it would be about at least like another 12-15 minutes. So yeah, we'll wrap it up as soon as possible. So moving on, Deepak, I hope it's all fine with you. Can we start? Okay.
Yeah. This is
okay. Cool. So moving on, I think the next question is from Livin. Hi, Deepak and Shubhranjan. The guys are doing great. Thank you, Livin. I'm Livin from Kafunsta, running an edtech platform for bank exam, especially on current affairs. And question is, I have planned to scale to regulatory body exams as well. So could you guide me? Deepak, I think you would be the better person to answer this.
What exactly in regulatory body exam? See, a regulatory body exam is a segment that has around 8 to 10 examinations like RBI grade B, NABARD grade A, NABARD grade B, SEBI grade A, PFRDA grade A, NPS grade B, NPS grade A. So what exactly are you looking for in the regulatory body segment? I am not able to make it out from your question that you are already giving banking and you want to set up for regulatory bodies exam as well. So what exactly do you want to know? Like what are the examinations? How do you go in this particular segment? How do you market to this particular segment? Who is the target audience?
Yeah.
Ranjan, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think, Deepak, there's a follow-up question from Livin I just noticed here. So the actual question is, could you please explain in detail about the regulatory body or the people really interested on it? Actually, we are in South India people, so normally don't have much awareness about the regulatory body. So could you please explain in detail how the market in regulatory body exams, market for regulatory body exams? So I think the question is, what is the kind of a market looking for regulatory body exams? And probably I think Livin is from South India, so the question is more about whether in South India there are any aspirants or is it worth giving a shot, is probably what they're trying to look for.
First of all, Livin, South India is a much better market for regulatory body exam as compared to North India. We have a lot of students from South instead of North.
Okay.
So
nice.
If you are saying that South Indian people are not aware of regulatory body, you can take it from me that North Indian is then minus 100 if South Indians are not aware about regulatory bodies. Coming to your particular question, see, regulatory bodies examinations, first of all, it means that these are those examinations for getting a job in the regulatory bodies of India. Now, what are regulatory bodies? These are the bodies that are regulating a particular sector in India. For example, if you talk about SEBI, SEBI is the regulator of the capital markets, stock markets, right? So SEBI is a regulator. PFRDA is a regulator. IRDAI is a regulator of insurance. RBI is a regulator of the entire banking system. Yes, NABARD is also there in the banking system, but NABARD is primarily into agriculture, right?
Yes.
NPS, National CAI. So there are so many regulatory bodies in India who are, tasked with the work of regulating certain sectors in India. Number one. Number two, you need to very well understand that these examinations are not all regular examinations. That is the biggest disadvantage of this particular segment. There are 2 or 3 examinations that are quite regular. One of them is RBI grade B, second is NABARD grade A. But when it comes to SEBI, PFRDA, NPS, IFSCAI, IRDAI, they come once in 2 to 3 years. The third point is these organizations do not release vacancies in wholesale. 1,000 vacancies, 5,000 vacancies. No. When it comes to RBI, the vacancies are 150 to 300. When it comes to SEBI, the vacancies drop down to 70, 80. When it comes to PFRD, the vacancies drop down to 10, 20. So the number of vacancies are mostly double digit, but not more than 350. Right. So the target audience, or if I say the TAM is not TAM, SAM. Let's talk about SAM. The SAM is not more than 20 lakh people. So it's a very micro niche market, right? And another thing that you need to understand about regulatory bodies is every examination has some very specialized subjects. For example, RBI has finance, it has management, it has economics, social, SEBI, commerce, corporate law. NABARD has agriculture, rural development. So someone who is looking to go into the regulatory body space must be aware about these 3, 4 factors. Yes, if you can make excellent content in this particular segment, then it is up for grabs. We would love to have competition from you that, okay, if you are able to make good content. But yes, content is the ultimate king in this particular segment. And you need to find audience differently for different examinations. It is not a one-size-fits-all approach that if you found audience for RBI, you automatically got audience for IFSCI. No. The audience will vary for different examinations. Some of them will overlap, but there would be largely a new audience for different examinations. So this is what I can tell you at a high level about this particular segment.
Okay. Yeah, I think probably I will just make it more quicker, Deepak, in the interest of time. Yeah, I think probably there's some disturbance there with respect to the voice breaking. Yes, don't worry, Saurav.
Just a
Yeah,
second, I'll just come back.
Saurav, I mean, I'll answer this question. Meanwhile, when Deepak sir is back. So yes, I mean, I understand there were a few times like where the voice was breaking, but we would probably have the recording there. So you don't have to worry about it. So we'll be sharing the recording after the webinar.
I'm back. Actually, the office is new, so there was a little work to be done. So I have just asked them to stop for 10 minutes.
Yeah. No problem, Deepak. No problem. I think, yeah, I mean, probably what I just mentioned was that we'll be sharing the recording after the webinar. So in case if there was any misses or anything that you couldn't make out, probably, yeah, you can watch it in the recording. So moving on, I think there's one question. Who's your favorite educational content creator? Deepak, any favorites that you have or the inspirations that you take from?
Yeah, I actually don't have a favorite, but I take take inspiration from many people. I attend a lot of events, Ranjan.
Okay.
2 days back, I was at the India Affiliate Summit that happened in Delhi. Before that, I was at a PSEO event in Delhi, in Gurgaon, sorry. So actually, I don't look at only the education or the edtech space or the test prep space for inspiration. I look at, Ranveer Allahabadia, I look at Ankur Wariku, I look at creators of HubSpot, I look at creators of Salesforce, I look at so many creators from the US. Well, if you look at my following, that people who I'm following on LinkedIn or Instagram, I'm following a whole bunch of people because there is so much to learn from everyone.
Absolutely.
I also look at Vikas Divyakirti sir. I can tell you where I do not look, like people who I hate, if I am allowed to say that term. I hate people who, for the sake of views and likes, they are sensationalizing the content. That is something that I do not like at all. And that is happening in our sector, especially that, okay, किसी teacher को किसी institute ने निकाल दिया, तो they are crying on the YouTube video. They are showing personal WhatsApp messages on the YouTube video. They are blaming on the YouTube video to garner the trust and the sympathy from the students. That is something that I'd stay away from. So some people are so good in motivating. Vikas Divyakirti sir is someone who is so good in motivating. He has a treasure trove of life lessons to share. I follow him. Ankur Wariku is someone who has nailed his audience, the target audience, so well that he is targeting only in the age group of 21 to 25 years. He has made content on that audience so well. I get inspired from him. But if I say that, okay, I only look up to Ankur Wariku, that would be wrong. I see so many creators out there who are, writing blog articles, who are sending out emails. If I look at the social media marketing of Zomato, I'm impressed. I look at their, social media marketing that, okay, yeah, this is something that makes sense. I look at the push notification of Swiggy. I get inspired that, okay, yeah, this is something that has made a lot of sense. So as a creator or as a digital marketer, you have to keep your eyes, ears always open because content is everywhere. If you are, driving your car on the road, you would definitely see content on the road also. On the radio, there is content. There are jingles on the radio. The jingles is also content. So you have to keep your eyes and ears open, and inspiration can come from anywhere. From anywhere. I read a lot of books. So books are a very good source of content. So they inspire me. Right, Seth Godin is an author that I love. Then Neil Patel is someone that I love for in the SEO field. Then Simon Sinek is an author that I love. I have read all his books. So I take inspiration from multiple places.
Nice to know that, Deepak. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, yeah, I mean, these things are very much needed for anyone because the world is moving so much, Deepak and guys. So I think there is a lot of things to learn every day from everywhere. Well said, Deepak. Well, I completely agree on that. So the next question is, what is the best way to get feedback from students to make sure they understand or like the courses? So what's the best way to get feedback? Yeah. It's a nice question.
There are multiple ways. I am not sure about the best way. That depends on what scale you are on, what scale your company has achieved, what stage you are at. I cannot tell the best way, but see what we do is in terms of the courses, we talk to our students who have enrolled, a small percentage of them. Let's say there are 10,000 people enrolled in a course. So we will talk to 100 to 100 people. There will be a post-sales call that will go after certain live classes have been conducted, after a certain amount of content has been delivered, and we will record that call as well. We will take the permission from the student and we'll record that call because I personally listen to that call. I love to get feedback, to take critical feedback from the students. So we take feedback in the form of phone calls, number one. Number two, when you have a thriving YouTube channel now, or a thriving community anywhere, be it on Telegram, be it on Facebook, be it on YouTube, somehow that feedback will reach you. Somehow. If something is good, it will reach you. Something is bad, it will reach you. Someone may put a comment on YouTube that may be negative. Someone may put a paragraph on Telegram that may be negative. Someone may put a post in your let's say email, a proper email that okay, this is something that I do not like. So once you have various channels going, 3, 4, 5 channels going, you will start receiving feedback. But what I would recommend is don't wait for the feedback to come. You yourself go and take feedback. That for that we do calling. And second, Learnyst also has a ratings and review system. So once the students are enrolled in that particular course, we also get ratings and reviews in the form of feedback from the students who type in that rating and review through Learnyst. So if it is a negative review, we immediately call. If it is a positive review, we say thank you so much. And one word of caution here that if you are getting one negative review, that means that that single person is representing a larger community. So it is not just one negative feedback that has come. It is definitely a lot of people who think negative, but just one has taken out the courage and the time to write that. So there is definitely something wrong. So you need to definitely talk to that person. So this is how we operate. We have not sent out mass emails to get feedback. We do not have what do I say, automated calling system to take feedback. These are two things that we do: call and the LMS, the Learnyst ratings and review system.
Nice, great. So I think next question is, could you provide guidance on structuring course modules for online class conducting, taking into consideration that not all candidates attend live sessions and some may not prefer recorded content. So I think probably the question is, what is a balance, like how many live sessions you would like to add in a content or in a course structure versus how much of that is the recorded content? If I
we have not been
right.
able to solve this problem actually. This is our problem as well. What has happened is, like earlier we were only going with pre-recorded courses because we were of the impression, because we talked to a lot of students, they were working. So they said that, okay, sir, we do not want to have a particular class, live class at a particular time. We just want recorded and we can watch it at 1.5x, 2x, blah, blah, blah. But now over a period of time, what we have understood is that hybrid works best. It should be a mix of recorded lessons and live sessions. So now almost all of our courses will have recorded content as well as live content. Recorded content is for someone who is not very keen on following a particular schedule of the live classes, or someone who wants a lot more freedom in adjusting the speed of the lecture. So that person can go through the recorded classes. But what I have seen is that once the examination comes close, live classes start to make a lot of sense. Right? Because then is the time that people are looking for a schedule, a fixed schedule, that okay, 60 days are remaining, I need a 60-day schedule. 90 days are remaining, I need a 90-day schedule. And once they see that, okay, in these 90 days, through the live classes and the daily work that we are giving them, their syllabus would be complete, they get a sense of closure. So this is how we have operated, that once the examination comes close, we push a lot of live classes. But once the examination goes into the cold chamber means that the notification is still 9 months, 10 months away. We mostly focus on recorded classes. That is how we have done it.
Got it. Yeah, I think that's perfect, I guess. I mean, probably that's also where probably during the exam times, when the exams are near, probably that's when the students also would need more motivations or more hands-on guidance, wherein a live class could be more effective than the recorded sessions. Moving on, if I want to do educational content long term, should I stick with 10 to 15 minutes engaging video or long format elaborate videos? It's quite a tricky question.
It's interesting question. See, we were in the similar question. Like I asked my team the same question a few months back, that what should we do? Because the attention span is reducing. Reels are gaining a lot of popularity. So is there even audience for YouTube? That was my question to my team, that should we make content just for 10 minutes on YouTube, or should we make 50 minutes content on YouTube? So what I have realized is, uh, first of all, like, you must have seen the podcast or the vodcast by Nikhil Kamath, who is the founder of Zerodha.
Yeah.
It's a 3 hour long format, 3 hour format. His vodcast are 3 hour long.
Yes.
I end up watching them for entire 3 hours duration. What does this tell me? It tells me that if I am the audience that Nikhil is making content for, and his content is delivering a lot of value, I will end up listening to a majority part of the video. So the question, it kind of answers itself, that if your 10 to 15 minutes, sorry, if your audience is deriving value from your 60 minutes videos, you make 60 minutes videos. If your audience is not deriving value from even 10-minute video, that 10-minute video will also not work. So do justice to the topic that you have picked up for making a particular video. Do justice to the topic that you have picked up for making a particular video. It should do justice, not at the cost of time. So if your topic demands 45 minutes of content, make 45 minutes of content. If your video or topic demands 15 minutes of content, make 15 minutes of content. Right? Keep it engaging. Do not repeat what you are saying again and again, that okay, 10 to 15 minutes was the real value, but actually it took 45 minutes to explain that particular concept. That is not going to work. So give value in the time that you are making the content. It can be 15 minutes, it can be 45 minutes. Yes, one technical aspect I would like to say here is that YouTube looks very seriously at average watch time. Very seriously. So if you make short form content videos, your average watch time will be low, obviously. If you're making 1 minute video, 2 minute video, 5 minutes video, the average watch time would be less as compared to a 60 minutes video. So have a balance. Choose topics that can be done justice to in 20 minutes. Choose topics that can be done justice to in 45 minutes. Choose topics too that can be done justice to in 60 minutes, and mix and match.
Absolutely. I think one point I would like to add here is, Deepak, probably you can also put in the thoughts, but when you make long hours of content, like even if it is part of your course material, like it's 1 hour, 2 hours, it's very difficult to keep the engagement going, right, for the students or the listeners, because 2 hours listening to, even like you mentioned that, I was surprised that you could listen to the 3 hour podcast of Nikhil. But it's really, really difficult for anyone to listen for such a long time, right? Especially educational content where there is no action, like it's not a cinema, right? So you have to keep focused, kind of a thing. So, so yeah, I think that's what, like, probably if you're making long hours of video content, then there should be some element to make it bit interactive or bit fun element or something like that, so it is not monotonous. That's one thing which I felt sharing it out. Any thoughts around that, Deepak? What do you think?
Use timestamps, Ranjan.
Timestamps, yeah. Cool.
Use timestamps. If there's a particular section that they want to skip to or jump to, they can go to that particular section.
Absolutely.
And see,
Yeah,
what you mentioned is very correct, that it is very difficult to maintain focus for 3 hours. So that is not the problem of the user, that is the content creator's problem. If their content is not engaging enough, they will not even watch a 10-minute video. That was my point. And if your content is engaging enough, they can watch even a 50 minutes video.
Right.
So it has to be storytelling. That the point that I was stressing on earlier. It should not be facts, 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 facts. It has to hit an emotion. We are emotional beings. We are human beings. We work on emotions.
Yeah.
So we have to become a content creator. Has to be a good storyteller first.
Got it. Got it. Cool. Cool. So there's a question from Livin. I'm new to Facebook ads. Could you explain it for me? Any thoughts around that, Deepak? You want to answer it quick?
Sorry, I didn't get the question, Ranjan.
So I think the question is, Livin is asking, like, he or she is new to the Facebook ads, and how to get started on Facebook, or whether it's really worth giving a shot on Facebook in the current trend.
It's an excellent platform, Ranjan. So see, what I would do is, this is not the scope of this particular webinar. I can tell you 2 sources which you can use to learn Facebook ads for free. Right. The first source is Umar Taskir YouTube channel. Umar, UMAR, TAZKEER. Umar Taskir YouTube channel has a complete playlist on Facebook ads. Complete playlist.
Nice.
from basic till advanced. If you go through that playlist diligently, you will learn Facebook ads in just a couple of weeks. That's it.
Cool.
Number one.
Nice. Mhm.
Number two, I have a PDF with me, Ranjan. If you allow, I'll share it with you over email. You can
Sure.
share it with the attendees. I have
Sure,
a
we'll do
PDF
that.
with me on basics for Facebook ads, campaign structure, what are ad copies, what are ad sets, what are campaigns. I have a
Yeah.
PDF with me. So that
Cool.
PDF I downloaded from somewhere. I don't remember now, but it's a very good basic course on Facebook through a guidebook.
Got it.
So these two things are good. And see, when it comes to marketing, organic, yes, it is. It should be the go-to strategy, but inorganic is like a catalyst in your organic strategy. So if you have to speed things up, if you have to yourself reach your audience, you must learn inorganic marketing, media buying basically. So Google ads and Facebook ads or Meta ads now make a lot of sense. So you must learn it. I learned it in the COVID time in 2020, and we are reaping the benefits, exponential benefits out of it. Exponential benefits.
Nice.
So you
Nice.
must learn it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and also that Facebook is not just Facebook right now. Like Instagram, if you want to run ads on Instagram, again, it's a Facebook ad manager is what you would be using. Got it. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meta
So
ads.
we'll just take up next two questions, Deepak. I think one is probably very relevant to in your case. What is your take on leaving a public sector job to start a educational channel or classes? So is it the question is
See,
it
my
really
take
worth
on
leaving
this,
the
Ranjan,
job?
is
Yes,
no.
yes,
See,
please.
I look at this question very deeply. See, what I suggest is do not leave your job, because if things don't work out, let's say worst case, you would be that is a very secure job to for something that you don't know will work or not. And if something goes wrong, the worst case scenario, and you do not, let's say, do good in your educational channel, then you would have nothing to fall back upon. That is what I'm assuming. You may have a very good financial background. I'm not aware of that. What I would, if I was at your place, what I would do is I would take out 1 hour of my time or 2 hours of my time daily and start an education channel in a parallel fashion. There are so many people who are in the civil services, who are working in private companies, in public sector companies, who are side by side doing their education channel. That in fact gives you an advantage that you have a lot of credibility. That okay, I'm working in ONGC and now I have also my channel. And if you are planning to start a channel in the same field that you are working, that is going to give you a lot of credibility working in that organization and then guiding students for that organization. So start there, have some initial enrollments or traction. Once you understand that okay, this is something that is growing larger day by day, then leaving your job, I think, can be an easier decision or a more practical decision to take at that stage. So give yourself 1 year, 6 months, start it simultaneously. And if it picks up, good, kudos to you. Then you can leave your job and you can start it full time.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Yeah. Great. So we'll take up one more question, Deepak. This would be the last question. I know there are a few more questions, but in the interest of time, guys, we have already hitting 90 minutes. So in the interest of time, I'll take this one last question. So the question is from Livin again regarding the language of YouTube, whether regional language is okay or Hindi, English, what would be the best?
Know your audience, Levin. My everything, I cannot tell you the answer to this question. Vernacular is the very, very big thing. In India, vernacular is a big thing,
Yeah.
extremely big thing. But if your audience is comfortable with Tamil and your primary audience is Tamil, make content in Tamil. If your audience is more comfortable with English, make content in English. If your audience is comfortable with Kannada, make content in Kannada. I don't know. You have to ask your audience. Go to your audience and ask, what is the language? What is your choice of language? Make content there. But yes, if you ask me at a very general level, then yes, vernacular is the, I think, next best thing, next biggest thing that is going to happen in, especially in the YouTube content creation game. So a lot of vernacular channels are coming up. A lot of vernacular content is being consumed, published and consumed nowadays. Lots and lots of content. So I was at this event and there was a representative from Google, and I don't remember the stats exactly, but the kind of increase that they have seen in the vernacular content being published and consumed, that was in the thousands of percentage, not the hundreds. If I remember correctly, I think 2,374% increase in the last year.
That's
I don't remember the
that's
exact number,
tremendous.
but it was in the thousands. That much I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to see that. Yeah, no, as you rightly said, I mean, vernacular has certainly picked up, but the most important thing is, yes, I mean, you need to understand your audience, your target market that you are catering to, yes, and also the niche or the segment that you are catering to. So that makes that answers the question to the best part. Yeah, I think we'll have to wrap it up in the interest of time. And I know there was a lot of questions, guys. I mean, we'll try to answer it probably when we do the recording. I mean, we can try to give some answers from our side, or we can pass on to Deepak and see if we have some time to take out and answer those questions as well. But yeah, very big thanks to all the audience. Big thanks to Deepak. So we have stressed out a bit, but yeah, very big thanks, Deepak. And really, I mean, I really appreciate the kind of conversations we had, and it was in a way really educative for me as well. I got to know many insights that which I was not aware of. So thanks for this, and obviously we'll be publishing this content out there so that it can be consumed by more audience than the attendees here, and attendees as well get the recording. So thanks, audience, again, and thank you, Deepak, very much. Any closing notes you want to add?
Thank you, Ranjan, for this opportunity. I think I hope I was able to add value to the attendees.
Certainly.
The closing remarks would be the same. That the closer you are to the audience, the better you will do. That's it. The closer you are to the audience, the better to your target audience as possible. In our case, students. So be as close to the students as possible, and they will tell you a lot of things that will inspire your content marketing journey.
Absolutely.
There is no other way to do it.
Absolutely.
And thank you to all the attendees for being so patient. I think we staged it by 32 minutes. So thank you for being so patient. Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. Thank you, Ranjan.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, see you.